بسم الله الذي لا إله سواه الواحد الأحد الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد والحمد لله أبدا سرمدا على كل حال والحمد لله على ما من به وأسدل وأعطى من نعمه سبحانه وتعالى. الحمد له على جماله وكماله وجلاله، الحمد له على جزيل عطائه ونعمائه. نعم, indeed, what is happening currently in the world through this phenomenon of the spread of the so-called coronavirus is something that ought to draw the attention of every sincere human being, sincere about his or her humanity, sincere about the reality that humanity represent in its presence here on this earth and in this universe. And to put that in our Islamic, in my view, and spiritual perspective, let me remind myself and my dear brothers and sisters and anyone who would be, inshallah ta'ala, available to listen. God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, says, إِنَّمَا أَمْرُهُ إِذَا أَرَادَ شَيْئًا أَن يَقُولَ لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونُ. We have to take all of this in this following elements of the following envelope. Number one, it is His command, the Divine subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He wills something to be, that He commands be, and it is, no matter what it is, in the realm of the physical or in the realm of the spiritual or in the realm of the seen or the realm of the unseen. He also subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ما أصاب من مصيبة في الأرض ولا في أنفسكم إلا في كتاب من قبل أن نبرأها إن ذلك على الله يسير. That whatever befalls you or will befall you of anything on this earth and in your own selves, it has already been in the eternal knowledge of Allah Azza wa Jal, in a clear record before the creation of the world, before the creation of earth, before the creation of the human being, before the creation, if you will, of the phenomenon itself, the challenge, the calamity, the trial. He also said, subhanahu wa ta'ala, as well, وَلَوْ يُؤَاخِذُ اللَّهُ النَّاسَ بِظُلْمِهِمْ مَا تَرَكَ عَلَيْهَا مِنْ دَابَّةٍ وَلَكِنْ يُؤَخِّرُهُمْ إِلَى أَجَلٍ مُّسَمًّى فَإِذَا جَاءَ أَجَلُهُمْ لَا يَسْتَأْخِرُونَ سَاعَةً وَلَا يَسْتَقْدِمُونَ. That He subhanahu wa ta'ala, the divine, if He were to hold to account human beings on account of what they do, of aggressions, of transgressions, of injustices, of wrongdoings, of deliberate, audacious, intentional sins and harm, that He would leave nothing living on earth. If He were to hold the human beings to account on account of what they do and they earn by their own doings, by their own decisions, by their own actions. Yet, He doesn't do that all the time. He does that perhaps only sometimes, and He does not do it to the extent that He could do, namely leaving nothing living on earth. وَلَكِنْ يُؤَخِّرُهُمْ إِلَى أَجَلٍ مُّسَمًّى. Indeed, He postpones that for them to a scheduled time, said He subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says also, subhanahu wa ta'ala, the following, قَالَ عَذَابِي أُصِيبُ بِهِ مَنْ أَشَاءُ ورحمتي وسعت كل شيء. That my punishment, I unleash it against whom I please, and my loving mercy encompasses everything and everyone. That is, if God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, were to hold us to account by what we really earn and do, much more will be than this. But He still gives us respite and time, and He still treats us on account of His merciful love or loving mercy. And yet, nothing occurs in this existence, not only in this world, in existence without His will, without His knowledge, without His permission, subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is His creation, and there is an order and values that He, subhanahu wa ta'ala, wills in this creation. And He, subhanahu wa ta'ala, manages, if you will, allows in this world and does not allow in the way He wants, subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are opportunities for us to extract the correct lessons that we need to extract from what is happening to us, to the world, everywhere. This, of course, is a phenomenon within the divine creation, and therefore within the divine knowledge, within the divine will. Nothing happens without His knowledge, without His will, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And number 2, عذابي أصيب به من أشاء ورحمتي وسعت كل شيء. My judgment, my justice, my punishment, I shall subject to it whom I want, whom I need, whom I will rather. Those of us who may be in the divine evaluation worthy of being punished, despite His continuous giving us of respite and of chances, despite His overwhelming loving mercy to all of us. Sometimes this happens for us to realize what we are doing, to take a step backwards perhaps, to stop and ponder, to think, to reevaluate our own lives, each one of us, individually and collectively, individuals and societies and nations, to reassess the way we are living, the way we are doing things. We have earned so much on our own doing. He also said, subhanahu wa ta'ala, ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس ليذيقهم بعض الذي عملوا لعلهم يرجعون. That fasad has appeared on land and in the seas. Fasad is, in a sense, the condition in which there is an imbalance that occurs to something in the created natural world of the divine that was otherwise balanced and natural. It's fasad. Like when a car, for example, stops running the way it is running, we say there is a fasad. There is a ta'til. Thus, this fasad has appeared on land and on seas. He says, on account of what human beings have themselves done and earned. And also this happens as a consequence of what they do, yet in the will and the knowledge of Allah, it is meant for us to pay attention, لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ, that they may stop and they may draw lessons and they may readjust and they may rethink and they may reorient themselves and change direction. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ. In other words, even in the calamities and the trials that we are subjected to in a sense of suffering, there is in it an intent to give us a chance to reevaluate and to reassess ourselves and to change. that which happens will befall the good and the bad. عذابي أصيب به من أشاء ورحمتي وسعت كل شيء. First of all, we implore the Divine subhanahu wa ta'ala, اللهم اجعلنا من أهل رحمتك ولا تجعلنا من أهل عذابك. Ya Allah, please let us be of those who are enveloped in your merciful love and loving mercy, not those who earn your wrath. No. He unleashes that subhanahu wa ta'ala in the natural way we perceive, and the natural way is his laws subhanahu wa ta'ala. The way he wills the world to be run, and the laws that govern this world at the physical level, at the social level, at the intellectual level, at the psychological level, at the mental level, at the spiritual level, it's all his. And we perceive what we perceive through those experiences that are originally divine. And thus, when that happens, it is either for some of us punishment, and for some of us it is a trial of cleansing, of purging, of purifying, of giving us a chance. تكفير عن السيئات وتطهير من دنس القلوب وأمراضها, and to give us a chance to reconnect to the divine, to give us a chance to develop, for example, tawakkul ala Allah, to develop reliance upon Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, anywhere you go, there is nowhere you go where there is not this challenge. No matter what we do as human beings, this is intended to make me and all of us be in the following attitude. Since there is nowhere to run, and all the means I am using will not by themselves be sufficient, and there is nowhere I can run, then I learn to return to Allah Azza wa Jal with fervor, with passion, with sincerity. I learn to develop sincerity within me in my relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In other words, I experientially learn about what it is really to feel tawakkul ala Allah, reliance upon Allah Azza wa Jal. حتى إذا ضاقت بهم الأرض بما رحبت وضاقت عليهم أنفسهم وظنوا أن لا ملجأ من الله إلا إليه ثم تاب عليهم ليتوبوا. And that's Allah describes to us on previous occasions, and we learn from those. One would reach a condition as one was subjected to very, very trying trials to realize that there is no rescue except through the divine. Until earth, the spaciousness of earth was too constricted for them. Until their own selves within became too constricted for them. Then they began to realize that there is no rescue and no refuge except to Allah Azza wa Jal, to help us develop that tawakkul that we hope will continue in the rest of our lives, for the rest of our lives, if we have rest in our lives. To learn that. Under these circumstances, as we learn that tawakkul, as we build a stronger bond with Allah Azza wa Jal, as we reflect and ponder why is happening what is happening, as we connect that to our own also responsibilities, socially, psychologically, economically, politically, militarily, spiritually, at all levels, scientifically, technologically, at all levels, what have we done? What are we doing, rather, wrong, morally, spiritually, especially? And then socially, economically, politically, militarily, technologically, that would earn us this, if you will, response from the divine subhanahu wa ta'ala. Having said that, This is an essential envelope in which I and you and everyone has to, I believe, in my opinion, has to look at this issue. Along with that, as is part of our Shara, is also to take the external means, the wasail, the external wasail to, in terms of rationally and practically, to do what we are able to do in the context of what is permissible, in the context of what is still moral, in the context of what is fair and just, to take the precautionary means and tools and wasail to minimize the risk of more and more spread of this creation of Allah Azza wa Jal, this virus. To do that, that is part of the asbab that we need to pursue and follow as part of our shara. Yet, when we follow those asbab must not be taken by me as the ultimate means for rescue. I must remember that there are means, and those means are available to me. Some of those means are simply permitted. Some of those means are even recommended. Some of those means are even obligatory. But all of that is taken in the envelope, is done in the envelope of knowing that the divine is in control over every atom, every quark, every microbe, every virus, every particle in existence. The motion of it or the stillness of it, the action of it or the inaction of it is all في كتاب من قبل أن نبرأها سبحانه وتعالى. Knowing that, we use the means in that reality. That will help us never to be frustrated, never to engage with anger this challenge, never to engage it with distress, but to engage it with nobility and dignity as we pursue the proper external means, most importantly within the envelope of a spiritual awareness of the divine subhanahu wa ta'ala, and wait for the faraj, and wait for the faraj, for the relief from Allah Azza wa Jal. And for us, Islamically, waiting for relief, using being and in these conditions as I described, is itself ibadah. انتظار الفرج من الله عز وجل مع الصبر ومع أداء ما ينبغي أداؤه من أمر الله سبحانه وتعالى is من أحسن العبادات. Of the best of ibadat is to wait for the relief from the divine as we use the proper means and engage externally the proper means in the way He also permits and loves subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's to receive this in a dignified way, in a noble way, not in an excessive way of angst, of fear, of anxiety, and therefore of actions that are excessively, perhaps sometimes, inappropriate. But to engage it with dignity, to live, alhamdulillah, a spiritually happy, still life. A person has most peace, he who or she who has lovingly surrendered mentally, intellectually, and spiritually and psychologically to the will of the divine, knowing that the will of the divine is always wise, and for those who believe, beautiful, and for all mankind, it's a trial at least of waking us up to realize where we are and how we should stop and how we should change, of what we need to do in addition to the measures known of cleanliness and caution, etc. Beautiful things. Sadaqah. Be charitable. Be charitable. إن الصدقة تطفئ غضب الله كما يطفئ الماء النار. that sadaqah, alhamdulillah, charity, to be kind to the needy and the poor and to help them, especially under these circumstances when people want to stay only home and do nothing else. You help the needy and the poor and you be charitable as a means, in addition to the physical, technological, scientific, medical means, as a means to avert this phenomenon of virus spread in ways that are incredible, that perhaps never happened the like of it in the history of Earth, where everywhere on Earth the epidemic exists. Perhaps never in the history of man something like that happened. There is something. Virus, look, a virus is a program. A virus genetically is a program, is a DNA strand. Some of the viruses have not even an external layer to cover them, that cylindrical proteinic layer to cover them. They are just in the air programs, maktoobs, written commands to do as they are commanded in the program to do. Subhanallah. If that's not something to make us ponder, the least to say, what makes us ponder? Then, sadaqah, dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, كثرة الدعاء، كثرة الصلاة، كثرة العبادات، مع التوكل، العبادة الباطنة للقلب، التوكل على الله عز وجل. With this internal ibadah of reliance upon Allah, Allah Azza wa Jal, inside of our hearts. And we do that, and we be forgiving, and we be kind, and we change our attitudes at home rather than being angry and restless. Be kind and gentle to your family, to your children, to your neighbors, to your friends. Be charitable. All of these are of the very, very beneficial means to keep away from us this, the consequences, the ill consequences of this phenomena, whether it be taken as a punishment from the divine or as a trial from the divine. This needs to be done. And He subhanahu wa ta'ala is kareem. He subhanahu wa ta'ala is generous. He subhanahu wa ta'ala is benevolent. He subhanahu wa ta'ala is magnanimous. As we have said earlier, if He were to hold us to account by what we do, individuals and nations, no man would be left on earth. But He still gives us respite upon respite, not of a day or a week or two, but thousands of years are given to mankind, to us, to continue to change, to continue to improve, to learn, to come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to come back to the divine, to come back to Tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jal, to come back to the beautiful moral values of the divine expressed on this earth towards every creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma, Ya Rabbi, اجعلنا من أهل رحمتك ولا تجعلنا من أهل عذابك. اللهم ارفع هذا الوباء والبلاء عنا يا رب، واجعلنا أبدا لك من الحامدين الشاكرين العابدين الراضين المرضيين. اللهم لا تؤاخذنا بما كسبنا. اللهم رحمتك هي أوسع لنا فلا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا ولا إلى أعمالنا طرفة عين. اللهم أصلح لنا شأننا كله، لا إله إلا أنت. وصل اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا مولانا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق، معلن الحق بالحق، ناصر الحق بالحق، والهادي إلى صراط الله المستقيم، وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.